Hello everyone. In continuation to our previous classes, in which we were studying about how to design the flexible payment, be it regards to the design of mix or regards to the design of the thickness of the payment, different layers of the payment. So today's class will be focused on design of rigid payments. Design of rigid pavement, which will also compose of two parameters: design of mix and design of thickness. Design of mix and design of thickness. So here too the design of mix will be same as you have studied under concrete technology, the design of concrete mix. So design of mix means design of concrete mix, nothing different from those parameters. And what we actually have to get through the design of the concrete mix is the flexural strength of the concrete, as we know that concrete is weak in tension. Concrete is weak in tension. So our aim from mix design of concrete will be to get what? To get flexural tensile strength of concrete under consideration. So this is our ultimate goal from designing a concrete mix, or I can write here the design philosophy which is there in rigid payments. The design philosophy, here it is: of rigid pavements. It is considerate about the critical tensile stress caused by the application of whether load or whether temperature changes, with comparison to the flexural tensile strength of the mix being designed for such load. So the design philosophy is like we assumes a trial thickness. We assume a trial thickness of the pavement slab, and for that assumed trial thickness we calculate critical tensile stress. Critical tensile stress caused, these stresses caused must have to be less than the flexural tensile strength of concrete mix. So design is actually basically it arrived from the demand side. There are two terms, one is demand, one is analysis. So firstly, after going through the traffic volume survey or different sort of surveys, you do what? You do actually calculate the demand part, the demand of load, how much load is going to be catered by the payment, and that load or the various environmental conditions actually defines what to design for. So the thickness here to be designed for payment will eventually calculate on the basis of that traffic volume survey or various temperature conditions. So the ultimate goal of designing the rigid pavement is to calculate the value of critical tensile stresses caused. Tensile, why? Because concrete is weak in tension. If we make our concrete safer in tension, then concrete in compression is already safer, our service life of the pavement will be higher. So just only thing in this unit is to calculate the critical tensile stresses caused and to compare those values with the flexural tensile strength of the concrete mix, which is calculated on the basis of modulus of rupture equals to 0.7 times root of FCK, or whatever the value being given by the code. Okay, so this is the ultimate aim. Now how to get onto this? So starting basically with the factors affecting. So this is our starting part. Now the next topic is factors affecting design and performance. Factors affecting design and performance of rigid pavement. So previously we have discussed about the factors affecting design and performance of flexible pavement. The factors here too are more or less similar. Some changes will be there, which I will cover. So in the previous class we have discussed about the factors affecting design and performance of flexible pavement. So traffic factor here will also be taken into care of. Subgrade of the soil, what property the soil is going to be throughout the service life of the pavement. Climatic factor, be the changes in the temperature variation or the rainfall. Properties of the pavement component materials, means the elasticity modulus of the PQC slab, the material or the concrete mix being taken, the Poisson ratio, drainage and the environmental factors. So these all factors also accounts for while designing the thickness for rigid pavements. So again briefing. Design means two things, mix and design of thickness. Design of mix is being studied in the concrete technology. You just have to mix a concrete like M40, M35, M50. The requirement for which grade is depends on the type of the critical tensile stresses being caused in the pavement. So regarding that we will mix the design for M40, M50, M60, whatever it is. So these are the basic why we are designing it, why the tensile stresses are being taken, because concrete is weak in tension. So regarding the second part, thickness part, the thickness should be such that the stresses caused, tensile stresses caused are lesser than the flexural tensile strength of the pavement. So this is the overview. Now how to calculate the thickness. For calculating the thickness, the factors affecting are more or less similar as what discussed in the flexible pavement. Apart from those, two very major factors are there which are involved to calculate the thickness of the pavement in CC slab. So while calculating the stress in a CC slab, the failure stresses, or I must say the critical stresses, failure stresses are evaluated based on two things. First is traffic load and second thing is temperature variations, because shrinkage stresses, warping stresses, such sort of stresses are caused in the concrete slab because of variation in the temperature, and similarly because of the application of traffic wheel load, some sort of load stresses will also be caused. So failure stresses, the thickness will be evaluated based on the two types of stresses being developed in the pavement concrete slab. First type of stress are the load stresses, or which we call as wheel load stress. These are studied by Westergaard's analysis. And second sort of failure stresses are caused by the temperature variation, and this variation can also be of two types. The variation of temperature across a pavement slab. If I draw a pavement slab like this, then the variation of the top fibers and the bottom fibers of the pavement slab, the variation in the top fiber and bottom fiber of the pavement slab, this is CC slab, can be on the daily basis, means daily variation across the pavement depth. Complete depth is h, then temperature at top and temperature in bottom are different, and that variation, daily variation can be there. Also there can be some seasonal variation. seasonal variations accounts to what? Seasonal variations like in summer complete slab. What sort of variation we are actually having here is the variation in two things. First is the environmental temperature, and second thing is the pavement construction temperature, the pavement construction temperature. So the stresses will be caused only when there is a differential rate, or there is a change of temperature which the pavement was constructed at, and the pavement now catering environmentally or climatically. So if this variation means seasonal, means pavement have constructed for a certain temperature like 24-25 degrees Celsius or some 30 degrees Celsius, but in summers the temperature will be more. So throughout slab will be experiencing more temperature or a higher, a positive change in temperature from its construction temperature, to mean seasonal. Similarly in winters, complete slab will be having a lesser value of temperature as it was constructed at. So I am just making it brief regarding the variation of temperature. It can be daily on the basis of daily temperature variation of the top and bottom of the slab, or it can be seasonal, means in summers complete temperature throughout the slab will be higher as compared to it was constructed at. Similarly in winters, so the stresses caused by daily variation in temperature are known as warping stresses, and the stresses caused due to seasonal variation, means complete slab temperature will be either more than the pavement construction temperature or is lesser than. Then those seasonal variation causes the stresses referred as frictional stresses. So temperature stresses are also of two types. One are on the basis of daily variation referred as warping stresses, and second are on the basis of seasonal variation, which are referred as frictional stresses. So the design philosophy is clear, the types of stresses which the pavement slab is going to cater is also clear. So in all three types of stresses are going to be catered by the pavement slab. First sort of are the wheel stresses, wheel loads, second sort of the warping stresses, and third are of the frictional stresses. So warping, okay, just make this thing also clear what warping actually means. Warping conditions, I must say warping conditions. So if it is like a pavement slab being rested over here, it is in continuation forwards. Okay, so similarly another case can be there. So if I am saying like this case refer to at midday, means noon time. At noon time the temperature of the top, this is CC slab, the temperature at the top, what will be it is about? Temperature at top will be higher, and temperature at bottom will be lower. So at midday what will be there? The warping will be like the top fibers will be trying to expand. Temperature, this T is high, T top is high and T bottom is low. So the fibers will be going to expand like this and bottom will be going to contract like this. So this lowering of slab down during temperature referring to midday condition is referred as warping down condition, or I must say warp down condition. This is because of what? This is because of the difference of temperature of top of the slab and bottom of the slab. If at midday the temperature at top will be higher, it will expand a bit, and at bottom besides the subgrade the temperature will be lower, it will contract a bit. So that warping down of the pavement concrete slab because of the difference in the temperature is referred as warping down conditions at midday. Similarly, at midnight, if I draw the bottom slab at midnight, what will happen? This is also the CC slab, same CC slab. At midnight, the temperature at top will be lower and the temperature at bottom will be higher. Temperature at bottom will be higher. During night condition, temperature at bottom will be high and temperature at top will be low. So it will try to expand and it will try to contract. So this will go like this, or I must say the slab warps up. During midnight condition, the slab warps up. So this sort of warping of slab actually comes into picture while the temperature is varying across the depth of the pavement slab. So this is warp up condition. This is very easy, you can just figure it out how the diagram of the slab is being changed because of the change in temperature of top portion of the slab to the bottom portion of the slab. So now we were looking for the pavement thickness, and for that thickness we need to evaluate the critical stresses, failure stresses, and which are basically because of two things: traffic load, means wheel load stresses given by the Westergaards, and temperature variation. That variation can be of two types. It can be daily variation referred as warping stresses, can be seasonal variation referred as frictional stresses. So all these values are tabulated, and that tabulated thing is actually made clear for calculating the worst condition of flexural tensile stresses. So I must say here critical combination of stresses in CC slab. The slab it is having, that critical combination will basically having a tabular format, which I must write it here like at what position you are going to calculate the stresses, that location of load position or whatever it is, and within that location the position, the stresses like load stress, wheel load stress, warping stress, and the last thing is frictional stress. Frictional stress and warping stress. As the warping is daily variation, so it can be daytime warping or it can be nighttime warping, and the frictional is because of the seasons, means it can be of summer season, it can be of winter season. So we will simultaneously be completing this table, because this is the table which gives us the critical combination. So I am putting it aside, and now as the first column here it is the location, means whenever the stresses are being calculated, some critical load conditions are being checked out where the maximum load stresses will be subjected to the pavement slab. So the critical location, if I am going to draw the slab, if it is the slab, so in this slab critical location means load can be placed on this corner portion, or load can be placed on this edge portion, or load can be placed on this interior portion, else where positions can be the similar thing. Means the thing is, the nature of stresses will vary when the load is here or here or here. So the three different location of the load position are being set aside while calculating the different sort of stresses being caused in the pavement slab. So these three different critical locations of loading is being drawn here, and then I can name it as like corner stresses. It can be the edge location or it can be the interior location. So in this table we were writing the names. So the name can be the interior case, it can be the edge, or it can be the corner. So actually complete slab, within the complete slab load can be anywhere, but three different distinct locations are there where if you calculate the intensity of stresses, and wherever the stresses comes out to be maximum, you need to design for that, or that maximum critical stress being evaluated as per traffic applied load, or the temperature variation must have to be less than the flexural strength of the concrete. So in this tabular format, the first thing is clear. Now what is this position? Position means if you put a load over this slab, I am saying about the nature of loading conditions. So what is this like? If you put a load over this corner, means if you feel like that this is a complete slab, and if you put a load over this corner, how will it will deform like? It will deform like the cantilever. But if you put a load on the edge or on the interior, how it will deform like? It will deform like simply supported beam, means like this. In case of corner, it will reflect like this, means you can do it yourself. Okay, whenever the load is applied at interior, I must say the nature of loading or the nature of stress, and that too where nature of stress में first is load stress. If it is at interior of slab or edge of the slab, at interior of the slab it will be deforming like what? It will be deforming like cantilever. At edge as well, and at corner. So at interior it will be deforming like simply supported beam. So means that sort of deformation will be there. Means top will be having the compression, bottom will be having the tension. At edges also, if you put the load, it will bend like a simply supported beam. So it will also deflect like the similar. Top will be having the compression, bottom will be having the tension. But in case of corner, if you apply the load, it will bend alone and will deflect like cantilever. It will deform like this. So at top it will be tension, at bottom it will be compression. So I think this deformation part is clear to you, how a slab will deform if the load is applied over the critical location. So if the load is applied over the corner, it will deform like cantilever, top will be having the compression, bottom will have tension. If the load is applied on the edge, it will be behaving as a simply supported beam and will deform like causing stresses of compressive nature on the top, tensile at the bottom. And similarly, when the load is applied on the interior portion of the CC slab, then it will deform like simply supported beam and will cause the stresses of compressive nature on the top and tensile nature on the bottom. So plotting these cases in this table which I was telling about, we will be continuing it. At the time being. So the position means there are two sorts of position when the slab deflects, a top upper or top position and bottom position. So I can write it like top and bottom. Similarly for edge as well, top, bottom. For corner as well, top and bottom. So by our previous analysis on nature of the stress, the load stress portion, interior, top compression, bottom tension. So I am writing the compression by green, means load stress on the interior at top will be of compressive nature and at bottom will be of tensile nature. So writing tension edge by red, means this is the critical, because concrete is weak in tension. Similarly for the edge, bottom will be under tension, and for corner, top will be under tension. And for rest of the locations, on the edge at top of compressive nature, on the corner at bottom of compressive nature. So this load stresses nature is clear to you, where the compression will be there and where the tension will be there. So in nature of stress, first one was the load stress. So second is warping stress. So the nature of warping stress. Second thing is warping stress. Warping stress is in two categories, means it can be a warping in daytime, it can be a warping in night time. So warping in daytime and warping in night time. Previously I have discussed about the warping condition. Okay, in that condition also there is one more condition, like in this warping condition, at midday temperature at top will be high, bottom will be low, but just below the fiber, the temperature of that fiber will be lower. Means if I draw another fiber of this slab, okay, I will draw it in the next diagram, but here that condition is like, here too a temperature differential is there, warp down condition, temperature differential is there, warp up condition. If the temperature differential is 0, if the temperature differential is 0, if temperature differential is 0, and if the temperature change is not there, then there will be no warping, or no warping condition, whatever you can call it, like no warping or no warping condition. Okay, now the thing is nature. In that diagram I was trying to make you clear, but let it having here, like during day, if I must say is like, the slab initially was this, and here it is in a continuation, and during day the temperature at top will be high, so it will try to move like that on the top portion, and at bottom it will be low, it will try to contract a bit. This is because the temperature, differential. So just focus over this diagram. Now the temperature at top is high. During day the temperature at top is high. During day temperature top is high and bottom is low, but just below this fiber, extreme top fiber is having a temperature of something around, for an example, like 32 degrees Celsius. But just below that fiber, the just bottom fiber, just below fiber will be having a temperature differential of around, something will be lower, 31 degrees Celsius. So the below bottom fibers will be having lower values of temperature as compared to the above fibers. So above fibers will try to expand because of the higher temperature, but below fibers restrict that expansion. Below fibers restricts that expansion and causes the stresses of compressive nature on top and tensile nature on bottom. Did you get it? During day temperature at top fiber will be high, because of which it will try to expand, but temperature of just below fiber is lower than that of the upper fiber. So when the upper fiber try to expand, the bottom fiber restrict that expansion and induces stresses of compressive nature on top and tensile nature on bottom. Compressive on top and tensile stresses on bottom. Is it clear to you? If it is clear to you, then I must write here in the diagram that during daytimes the tensile stresses will be at bottom. So at bottom tensile, at bottom tensile, at bottom tensile, while at top compressive, at top compressive, at top compressive. So this is about this diagram. Similarly, if I draw this diagram for night conditions, if I draw this diagram for night condition, initially the slab things like this, and here it is in continuation. So when the temperature of the upper, when the temperature during night what will be the condition? The temperature at bottom will be high, temperature at bottom will be high, and temperature at top will be lower. So it will having a deflection scenario of this way. It will having a deflection scenario of this way. During warping, during night condition, the temperature of top is low and the temperature of bottom is higher. And for example, let it be like the temperature here, it is something like 29 degrees Celsius of the extreme bottom fiber, and just above that fiber is having a temperature of around 27 degrees Celsius or 28 degrees Celsius. So what will be there? The bottom fiber will try to expand because of the highest temperature, but just above fiber is having lower temperature, it will try to make this in compression. So bottom fiber will come under compression and top fiber ultimately will be having a nature of different stress, different nature of tensile. So during night, warping during night, top will be having tension, bottom will be having compression, and this thing we will put in our this tabular format. So top is having tension, warping during night at top in tension, at top in tension, at top in tension, and restly at bottom in compression, bottom in compression, bottom in compression. So I think this is clear to you, the two nature of two different stresses, load stresses and the warping stresses. The third sort of stress is frictional stress. The third sort of stress is frictional stress. Nature of frictional stress. So it is having two different aspects, means complete variation of pavement slab during summer and during winter. So drawing a slab, you will get it like this. Okay, I am drawing it here. If this is a slab and it is resting over the soil subgrade, and similarly in this case also a slab will be resting over soil subgrade. But what will be happening? You just need to get to the nature of the slab, nature of the stress. Okay. So in summer what will be there? The temperature of slab will be higher. In summer, the temperature of slab will be higher than the pavement construction temperature. It will try to expand. It will try to expand, but the supporting subgrade is at lower temperature. It will restrict that expansion. The temperature of slab will be higher, it will try to expand, but the subgrade is having lower temperature, will restrict that expansion and will cause in the slab the stresses of compressive nature throughout. Similarly, this is I must write it here like it is subgrade. This is what? This is subgrade, and this is CC slab. So during summer, temperature will be higher, slab will try to expand, but subgrade will restrict that expansion and causes stresses of compressive nature. And in case of winter, the temperature of the slab will be lower, it will try to contract, but the slab will resist that contraction or oppose that movement of contraction and introduces the stresses of tensile nature in winters and induces the stresses of tensile nature in winter. This is CC slab. So I think this is a bit more clear, and I am okay. First complete the tabular format. So frictional stresses in summer are complete throughout, top bottom complete, compression throughout. So summer's compression throughout. This corner actually is free to move, or means it is just a lifted upwards. So the stresses are of very negligible magnitude, so can be neglected. Means seasonal stresses at corner can be neglected because of lower magnitudes. Okay. In winters, the nature of tensile nature, complete slab, so it is tensile, 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 tensile. So here too can be neglected or neglify. Okay, I must write here in nil. The value is actually very lesser, or you can calculate and again put the values will be of very least nature. So this is what a pavement concrete slab must look out for getting the value of pavement thickness. So you have got here, you have got the locations, interior, edge and corner, the critical locations of loading, and that too upper portion of the slab means top and bottom, natures of load stress, compression tension, nature of warping stress during day and during night, nature of frictional stress during summer and winter. Within these complete evaluation, calculate the maximum value of tensile stresses. Like interior top sum करोगे आप तो this tensile plus this tensile. Similarly interior bottom करोगे this tensile, this tensile, this tensile. Similarly for this case, similarly for this case. So whichever value comes out to be maximum, that is the most worst combination. Maximum value is the most worst combination. So from this whole complete table you get to know what? You get to know the worst condition, worst combination, worst combination of stresses, or that too of tensile nature, means at edge, at bottom due to wheel load at bottom, warping during day, frictional during winter, those magnitudes. So I think the nature how the compression tension comes out here is clear. Now the only thing remaining in this is the values, how to calculate the values of load stresses, how to calculate the value of warping stress, how to calculate the value of frictional stresses. So this is aimed at calculating the worst combination of the stresses. So this is clear, and here this thing is clear. So I think the part remaining here is how to calculate the value of the stresses, load stresses, warping stresses and frictional stresses, which I will cover in the next video lecture. Okay.